Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Nadam Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Uriraye Nasta Prayashu Abhareshu Nitya Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Pavati Naisteki. Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 39 through 48, Prahalad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Text 39. Text 39 through 40. The demons, Rakshasas, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, thus began striking the tender parts of Prahalad Maharaj's body with their tridents. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish, coppery beards and hair, and they appeared extremely threatening. Making a tumultuous sound, shouting, "Chop him up, pierce him," they began striking Prahalad Maharaj, who sat silently meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 41. Even though a person who has no assets in pious activities performs some good deed, it will have no result. Thus, the weapons of the demons had no tangible effects upon Prahalad Maharaj because he was a devotee undisturbed by material conditions and fully engaged in meditating upon and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable, who cannot be realized by the material senses, and who is the soul of the entire universe. Text 42. My dear King Yudhishthir, when all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahalad Maharaj were futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. Text 43-44. Hiranyakashipu could not kill his son by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants, throwing him among huge, fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of a hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, winds, fire, and water, or throwing heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahalad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next. Text 45. Hiranyakashipu thought, I have used many ill names in chastising this boy Prahalad, and have devised many means of killing him. But despite all my endeavors, he could not be killed. Indeed, he saved himself by his own powers, without being affected in the least by these treacheries and abominable actions. Text 46. Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. He resembles a dog's curved tail, which can never be straightened, because he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master, Lord Vishnu. Text 47. I can see that this boy's strength is unlimited, for he has not feared any of my punishments. He appears immortal. Therefore, because of my enmity towards him, I shall die, or maybe this will not take place. Text 48. Thinking in this way, the king of the Daityas, morose and bereft of bodily luster, remained silent with his face downward. Then Sanda and Amarka, the two sons of Sukracharya, spoke to him in secret. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vidyamati. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, when you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today's Bhagavatam session. Thank you, Vidya Mataji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section translation. And thank you for giving this opportunity, Sundarananda Prabhu, to purify for myself. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Prahalad Maharaja, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, from slokas 39 to 48. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatta Deshatarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Slokas 39 to 48. So we are in the section of Prahlad Maharaj. In the last chapter, we heard how Hiranyakashipu, by performing severe austerity, pleased Lord Brahma and got several boons in such a way that he cannot be killed in the daytime, nighttime, so many things like that. And being embedded with all those boons, so he became very puffed up and proud, and then he started conquering everyone and then enjoying the luxury life, but still, though he has all kind of material opulence, but he was not satisfied. So at the same time, demigods being unhappy with this Hiranyakashipu, or being harassed by Hiranyakashipu's rule, so they all went to Lord Vishnu and offered prayers to him and requested him to save from the conditions that are created by Hiranyakashipu. And Lord Vishnu assures them that they will be saved. And when Hiranyakashipu started tormenting his own son Prahlada, who is Mahabhagavata, then he will be destroyed. So being assured by Lord Vishnu, all the demigods are satisfied. Then at the end of the chapter, last chapter, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked why Hiranyakashipu, the father of the Prahlad Maharaj, so violent on his this noble son, a great devotee, Mahabhagavata. So for that, Narada Muni started narrating the history of Prahlad Maharaj, and in this chapter so far we heard how Hiranyakashipu, when he sent Prahlad Maharaj to the school of Shanda and Amarka, who were the sons of Sukracharya, and they started teaching this material education, Dharma, Artha, Kama, like that. But Prahlad Maharaj did not like this material education. And when one time Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj what the best thing he learned, then he told to practice Krishna consciousness. So then Hiranyakashipu told to his Prahlad Maharaj teachers that maybe some friend in the school might be polluting Prahlad Maharaj with this devotional process. So he advised to take care of Prahlad Maharaj very nicely. Then the teachers tried their best to teach all material education. And again, when Hiranyakashipu asked the best thing that he learned, then we heard how he mentioned the Navavidha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like that. So that made Hiranyakashipu very angry. And he chastised the teachers, thinking that they are teaching this Bhakti Yoga. But the teachers told that, the Prahlad Maharaj has the natural tendency for the devotional practice. So then again, Hiranyakashipu inquired from Prahlada, so where did he learn? Then we heard how Prahlad Maharaj taught about the Bhakti Yoga to his father Hiranyakashipu. And the last session we heard from Grace Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu that whoever wants to progress or understand Krishna consciousness, they have to take the shelter of a pure devotee. And this made Hiranyakashipu very angry. So then he started, he ordered his soldiers to kill Prahlad Maharaj. And today we'll go through the slokas 39 to 48. So what happens once the Hiranyakashipu ordered his soldiers, the demonic soldiers, to kill Prahlad Maharaj. So we see in the 39 and 40 sloka, so the demons, the Rakshas, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, so they started striking the tender parts of Prahlad Maharaj's body with their tridents. So Sarva Marmashu. So ordered by this Hiranyakashipu, the demons started striking the Prahlad Maharaj's body. And we see how the demons are very fearful. They have the fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish, coppery beards and hair. And they're extremely threatening. And not only that, they're also making a great sound, shouting that, chop him up, pierce him like that, It's a very fearful situation. But we see what Prahlad Maharaj is doing, even though it is very unfavorable or very externally looking it as a fearful situation. We see that he is sat silently and meditating upon the Supreme Person of Godhead. So this shows that the devotees are not at all afraid on any material condition because they have full faith on Krishna. So they know that if Krishna wants to kill someone, nobody can give protection. And if Krishna wants to save someone, nobody can kill him. Rake Krishna, Mare Krishna, Rake. So they have that full faith. So that's why they are undisturbed in any condition. And Prahlad Maharaj being a pure devotee, so he sat silently and meditating on the Supreme Lord. And then the text 41, we see that Krishna wants to protect Prahlad Maharaj. That's why all the weapons that demons that they're using, so they have no tangible effects on Prahlad Maharaj. And because he was a devotee, undisturbed by material conditions and fully engaged in meditating upon and serving the Supreme Lord, who is unchangeable and who cannot be realized by the material sense, and who is the soul of the entire universe. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Prahlad Maharaj is fully engaged in the thoughts of Krishna, Shravanam, Govinda Parirambitha. So that's why his body is covered by the protections of the Supreme Lord. So that's why there is no harm happened. Of course, this protection that Lord Vishnu is giving to Prahlad Maharaj cannot be seen by the demons or anyone else who is not progressed in the path of bhakti enough. They cannot see that. But the protection is there. That's why all the weapons that these demons are using, there is no impact at all. And we hear in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna mentions to Arjuna that Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So he tells to Arjuna to declare boldly that my devotee will never perish. So because Krishna will protect. There is a nice pastime also in Mahabharata. So when Arjuna, seeing the death of his son Abhimanyu, so he was very morose and he becomes very angry. And on top of that, he hears that so this Jayadratha, he is the one who obstructs other Pandavas not to enter into the Padma Yuha and support Abhimanyu or protect Abhimanyu from the other great warriors who are attacking Abhimanyu. So this Jayadratha stops them. So Arjuna hearing that, Arjuna takes a vow saying that he will kill Jayadratha by tomorrow's sunset. Otherwise, he will enter into fire and give up his life. So on that night, Krishna appears to be in great anxiety. And Bhima, seeing that Krishna is in anxiety, he goes to Krishna and he asks for the reason. So why he appears to be in great anxiety. And Krishna mentions that the news of the Arjuna's vow is known to the other party, the Kauravas. So then what they will do is they'll keep a large army in front of Jayadratha to protect him. So if they can protect one day Jayadratha, then Arjuna, to keep his vow, so he will enter into fire and he will give up his body. So that's why Krishna is in anxiety, how to kill Jayadratha and save his dear devotee Arjuna. So, and seeing Krishna's great affection to Arjuna, so Bhima asks why he has so much love for Arjuna. Then Krishna takes Bhima to Arjuna, where Arjuna is sleeping nicely. He doesn't have any anxiety because he is fully taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So, and then they see that Bhima sees that Arjuna, even though while sleeping, he is chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna like that. Satatam Kirtayanto. So that's why Krishna mentions that he is very dear to him. Because whoever takes complete shelter to Krishna, Ananyascha Chantayantoma, so whoever takes, we are always in the thoughts of Krishna, Krishna takes care of them. Yoga Kshema Mehamya. Similarly here, Prahlad Maharaj, because is in fully observing the thoughts of Krishna, so Krishna is protecting, Lord Vishnu is protecting him from the weapons of these demons. That's why they have no effect. So similarly, as a practicing devotee, if we progress nicely in the path of bhakti, Krishna will protect us. So by removing or minimizing our sinful reactions which we have in our account, so we'll be saved. Otherwise, there will be so many dangers. So Krishna will remove all those sinful reactions. Trayato mahato bhayat, like that. And in the text 42, Narada Muni is mentioning to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Of course, this pastime is narrated by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he's saying that when all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahlad Maharaj were futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. So we see here, though Hiranyakashipu is very powerful, and he is defeated or conquered many of the great personalities, demigods and all. But here we see that he is not able to kill his own son. Is a very little boy like that. And because of that, he became fearful. So when all the attempts are failed, then he became fearful. But we see that in the last sloka, that Prahlad Maharaj who is a very small boy, even though he was kept in a very fearful conditions, but he is undisturbed. So he's not fearful. Because Prahlad Maharaj is taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, who is all powerful. So that's why he is fearless. So that's what even we heard from Lord Shiva during the Chitraketu pastime, that Narayana Parasarve Nakuteschana Bipyati. So whoever takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord Narayana, then they are not fearful by any condition, in any material conditions that they were kept. They are not fearful, or they are not agitated. Because they know that so wherever they are placed, in whichever the condition they are placed, they always perform the bhakti only. Like how Prahlad Maharaj here, even though he was placed in a unfavorable material condition situation, so he is always absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. So that's why for them, either hellish planet or heavenly planet or even the spiritual world, there is no difference. Swarga, Apavarga, Narakeshu, Apitulyartha Darshana. And Prabhupada also gives analogy, like an example, like the typewriter. So whether the typewriter is used in America or India, it will give the same sound. When you start typing it, it will just tick, tick, tick like that, whether it is in America or India. So similarly, pure devotees, in whichever the material conditions they are placed, so they are not they are not disturbed. They are undisturbed, because they are always absorbed in the Krishna consciousness. So that's why they are not afraid. And we hear from that famous song also, Govinda Das space, Bhajya Mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindra. So one who takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, so they become fearless. So many pastimes, like we heard earlier also many times, the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj. So when Durvasa Mahamuni sends this dangerous person to kill Ambarish Maharaj, he was not at all afraid. So he just absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. But at the same time, when Sudarshan Chakra came towards Durvasa Mahamuni, even though he is a very powerful personality, he ran away fearing for his life. So he was fearful. So that's why, as sadhaka progress in the path of bhakti and situates in pure Krishna consciousness, then they will experience fearless, and they will be peaceful, calm, and blissful. Shanti mrichyati. So that is the potent of this bhakti yoga. So one can be situated in blissful conditions all the time. In the text 43 to 44, so we hear that how Hiranyakashipu tried to kill in many ways his son Prahlad Maharaj. So he's throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants like that. I don't know, there is a movie called Bhakta Prahalada, very old movie. I'm not sure if it is authentic or not, but in that movie, we see that when the elephants were directed towards Prahlad Maharaj to crush him, so these elephants will come, and when they come near, then they will offer obeisances by seeing Prahlad Maharaj, who is a pure devotee. So similarly, when the fearful snakes are placed around the neck of Prahlad Maharaj, they become garlands like that. But here we see that so whether the elephants were his son throwing him beneath the feet of the big elephants or the huge fearful snakes, nothing happened. So even they employed destructive spells or pushed him from the top of hill or administrating poison. So even they gave the poison, but there is no impact. And they're starving him, like exposing to severe cold, wind, fire, water, and throwing heavy stones to crush him. So Hiranyakashipu tried many ways to kill Prahlad Maharaj, but he found that so he could not in any way harm Prahlad Maharaj. Was completely sinless. So that's why Hiranyakashipu became in anxiety. And Prahlad Maharaj, even though he's going through so many challenges, he is not in anxiety. But here, Hiranyakashipu, he tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj in different ways, but he was not able to do it. So he was in great anxiety. And in the text 45, Hiranyakashipu was thinking like this, I have used many ill names in chastising this boy Prahlada and devised many means of killing him. But all his endeavors, he could not able to kill. So it's no possible to kill this great devotee Mahabhagavata, because the protection of Lord Vishnu is there. So no one can kill him. Even though Hiranyakashipu is very powerful, and is the leader of, or he conquered most of the living entities of the universe, but here he is not able to kill this small boy, Prahlad Maharaj, who is a great devotee. So he thinking that he saved himself by his own power and without being affected in the least by these treacherous and abominable actions. So Hiranyakashipu was thinking like that. And then he is also thinking that he's a very near to me. Prahlad Maharaj is not running away anywhere. Like he's near to Hiranyakashipu only. On top of that, he is a small child. But still, we see that Prahlad Maharaj is completely fearlessness. So that is the power of the bhakti, being a pure devotee. So one becomes fearless. And Hiranyakashipu is thinking that he dissembles a dog's curved tail. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport this word Sunasepa. Sunasepa means dog's curved tail. So however one may try to strike the dog's tail, so it cannot happen. It will never be straightened. So it is always been curved situation. So here also, which never be straightened. And because he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master Lord Vishnu. And Prabhupada also gives another meaning of this Sunasepa. So Sunasepa is the son of Ajigartha. So Ajigartha is a poor Brahmana. So he has 3 sons. So this Sunasepa is the middle one. So, and this pastime is mentioned in the Aitreya Upanishad. So this great king Harishchandra, so when he had many wives, but he doesn't have a son. So one time when Narada Muni and Parvata Muni visited Harishchandra, and they mentioned to Harishchandra that the significance having a son, male progeny, to continue the dynasty, parampara, like that. So then from that time onwards, Harishchandra had interest to get a male child. So then he prays to Lord Varuna and pleases him to and requests him to benedict him to have a son or sons. So then Varuna gives that benediction, and Harishchandra also promised that so the first son he will offer it to Varuna only in a sacrifice. So soon a son was born. His name is Rohita. So then Varuna demands to fulfill Harichandra's promise. So giving him that son in a sacrifice to Varuna. So Harichandra, having affectionate to his son, so he started delaying that process of offering the son to Varuna. So this made Varuna to get angry on Harichandra, and Varuna being the in charge of the water, so he accumulated the water in the abdomen of Harichandra, which caused Harichandra to be suffered. And then Rohita, the Harichandra's son, trying to find out a way to resolve this situation. So he started wandering here and there to find out. And then later he came across to this Ajigartha, who is the father of Sunasepa. And this Ajigartha has 3 sons and very poor Brahmana. So Rohita requested to give one son in exchange of 100 cows. So he will give 100 cows to Ajigartha, and Ajigartha should give one son in charity so that that son can be used in the sacrificial. So Ajigartha, being very poor Brahmana and dying by for the with the starving, so he agrees to give his second son, because he don't want to give his first son, because the first son is the eldest one, is the one who does the final rites to the parents. So he don't want to give the first son. At the same time, his wife don't want to give the last son, the third son, because she has affection towards his youngest son. So this, so they choose the middle son, this Sunasepa, to give it in charity to Rohita, the son of Harichandra. So that's how the Sunasepa is given charity to Rohita, Harichandra's son, and then he takes the Rohita takes this Sunasepa to his kingdom, and then they started performing the yajna and give sacrifice this Sunasepa. So then the priests, whoever is appointed, they were not interested to chop off the head of the son, the Ajigatha's son, Sunasepa. So, and then Ajigatha, the Sunasepa also prays to many demigods to help him out to come out from this situation. And then the goddess of dawn, so she helps, and also she cures the suffering of Harichandra. So then Vishwamitra adopts this child. So that's why Prabhupada mentions that this Sunasepa, so though he was given charity to Harichandra or Harichandra's sons, but later, so he becomes the adopted son of Vishwamitra, who is the enemy of or the rival of Harichandra, like that. So here also Hiranyakashipu is thinking that he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master Lord Vishnu. So like that, Prabhupada gives the example of Ajigatha's son, whose name is also Sunasepa. And then in text 47, Hiranyakashipu is thinking that this boy's strength is unlimited, and he has not feared any of his punishments, and he appears to immortal. So because of my enmity toward him, I shall die, or maybe this will not take place. So we'll see that, here, even Hiranyakashipu himself is thinking that the Prahlad Maharaj's strength is unlimited and is immortal. So whoever takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, so because of the support of Krishna, so he'll become very powerful. So even in the Dhruva Maharaj's pastime also, when he performed the severe austerity during the 6th month, so because he has filled his heart with Supreme Lord Krishna, so he became very powerful just by the pressure of his big toe pushed down half of the earth. So that much powerful he became. So and we see, but the materialist thinks that if they have the power, they will be powerful like that. So like in Bhagavad Gita also, Duryodhana thinks that he has a vast army and powerful warriors on his side, so he can win the war. He's saying that aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam. So he thinks that his army is immeasurable and is perfectly protected by great warrior Bhishma, like that. The same time, the Pandavas army is paryaptam, like is limited. and they don't have a great warriors like whom they have on their side. So that's why they thought they will win. But at the end, we see that Duryodhana and all his warriors they were killed and lost the war because Pandavas taken the shelter of Krishna. So if one becomes a devotee, then automatically all the good fortune will come. So that's why here Hiranyakashipu is fearful, thinking that Prahlad Maharaj's strength is unlimited, and he is also Amaraha, immortal. And in the last sloka for today, saying that thinking in this way, the king of Daityas is morose and bereft of body luster, remained silent with his face downward. And at that time, Sanda and Amarka, the two sons of Sukracharya, they spoke to him in secret. So this is what happens, like somebody who doesn't take shelter of the Supreme Lord, so they will go through the suffering that comes through their own reactions, the previous actions, and they will become morose. So in this material world, every step there is a danger to call him. So if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, then they will will become blissful. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So they will become blissful and they will become peaceful. And Hiranyakashipu, when he is in morose, the two sons of Chandamarka started speaking to him in secret. So I'll pause it here for today, so we can hear what Chandamarka mentions to Hiranyakashipu and the next activities of Prahlad Maharaj, like that in the future sessions. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.